Well, here we are again with Mike and Crash in the morning with the topic of the week. You can't get away from it, Mike Gambaro. The Broncos destined for perhaps the worst defensive NRL premiership in 63 years. You're out in the streets and you're mixing with people. What's your view? What are you hearing?
Oh, mate, what a fall from grace that is. I mean, we all look at the premiership last year and we go, what a great time. And then now I believe, well, if they lose the game on the weekend, they're going to be second on the bottom of the ladder. But, mate, on the streets, you see a lot of these boys. And, full clarity, I'm friends with a few of these boys. But you see a lot of them who should be prepping for a game out partying, out on the town. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself and all that, but also there should be a bit of mentality there going, I am playing a game that a lot of people are expecting me to succeed in. And when you're not succeeding and you're out, making a fool of yourself, I think there's a lot of questions there, particularly when it comes to, the culture of a club. And I mean, mate, you've been a journo for decades and a sports journo for decades, and you've seen people come and go. Like, what do you think about clubhouse culture in general, in particular in Brisbane teams?
I always felt Brisbane were at their best when they had a strong forward leader like Gordon Tallers or Shane Webke, who would be very firm with the youngsters and really give them a clip around the ears. Webke used to wrestle with Corey Parker, the young upstart at that stage, and they'd have fierce disagreements. But it was great for Corey because it was an enforcer. I'm not sure that sort of person is there at the moment. The standards, well, you're seeing it. You reckon you've seen it. I'm not out at those. I'm at home asleep on my couch by about 7:45 or so. But that's an interesting observation. But it does matter. It does matter.
And you know what? It's like we're talking about now on the field, but also off the field, behind the scenes. Like, one thing I love doing is I love talking to the boys at the Dolphins. Trad in the PR, Terry Reader, CEO of the Dolphins. Like, all the boys at the Dolphins behind the scenes are just so lovely and welcoming. And you go to training days and everyone is in such a good mood. Like, I mean, what do you see when you head to the training days?
The Dolphins, lightness. It's a lighter pressure than the Broncos. And part of that's not their fault. The expectations on the Broncos are massive. But they have this thing at the end of the Dolphins training where they all get together and there's this giant laugh. You can almost hear it from a suburb away. And then they all go down. They live near each other at the waterways, just close to training. They turn up at a coffee shop. There's 3 of them there. But there's a UFC fight on at the League Club. 12 of them will go there. They'll just have a mineral water or something. But they're a tight bunch. And it's very precious. But, yeah, you're right. What I'm also seeing, Mike, just with the Broncos, the old boys are just about to bubble over. I think that, they felt Kevin Walters was sacked pretty prematurely. And, Michael Maguire did very well to win a premiership last year. But the same problems he had this year with injuries, Kevin Walters had that. So there's some very, very angry old boys out there. I'm not sure whether you've run into any. They've been silent so far, but I think they're going to break that silence soon. What's your feeling?
Yeah, I think you and I both have had a few drinks with a few of the same people by the sounds of it. Yeah. But you're exactly right. I think it's almost very time that a lot of Broncos old boys are going to start talking. And I think, thank God the Broncos do have a crisis manager at the moment, because I reckon they're going to need them very soon. But there's a lot of issues, and I think as well, we always talk recently, particularly in our field, is the players are becoming bigger than the game. But also I feel like the players need to remember that they're only big because of the game. And I think that's something that a lot of these players are forgetting. And I think that needs to get back to the root of going, you need to focus on the game.
Well, you were quite prophetic at the start of the season. I remember you did a little podcast and you copped a bit for it, didn't you? But what did you say in that podcast?
I said the Broncos coming off the premiership, they lost, believe 2 games back to back. And I said my fins were going up purely off the base of club culture, of going, it's difficult for the Broncos. I mean, there's a lot of commentary and critique around Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt too old for the game, but also they're spectacular leaders. But then also, Payne Haas signing to the Rabbitohs. Is there a problem now that people are playing with a player that is so loved in the club? Everyone loves Payne at the club. And are people upset that then he's going? So there's a lot of expectations and I think a lot of disappointment there. So is club culture affecting how the boys are playing. Because if we look at the Dolphins and we talk about like how lovely and nice and how relaxing the club culture is at the Dolphins are having a great season, and I can't wait to see them blossom and grow and continue to grow. And it's, the Dolphins really set the agenda of going, boys, we're here to play a game, we're here to start a team, and we're here to make sure that Brisbane can be proud of us.
Does that mean you're tipping the Dolphins to beat the Broncos, Mike, on Saturday night?
Dare I say it, I am a Broncos tragic. I only have Broncos jerseys, but I bought my first Dolphins jersey. I bought my first Dolphins jacket a few weeks ago, and mate, for the Battle of Brisbane, I can't believe I'm saying it, my fins are up. My fins are up.
Hey, listen, you can't always go to the winning team, Mike. There's a certain soul about supporting a team that's down, and that's what I want to see from you, huh?
I know, mate. But look, I love the Broncos, but unfortunately, with a few of the culture things at the moment, I can't watch the Broncos without feeling a bit upset. Because it's like, gone is the idea of going, we're proud to watch these players when we're seeing so much things happen in and off the field. Mate, I want the Broncos to go back to what I remember them from 2006. Lockie scoring tries, and it was such a good time back in 2006.
It was indeed, and I guess at least we've still got the memories, and good memories they are. Interesting.
And that's it.
Enjoyed the chat, but let us know what you think. We've got our theories on the Broncos. What are yours? Let us know in the comments.
Mate, you're an influencer.